So this is bad oneiroi. And basically the idea is I was developing the, floaty, ambient, pretty, trilly patch. And I was like, well, what if instead of making it pretty and trilly, I threw in, like a bit modulator and made it sound kind of horrible. So that's the idea here. Something about me that maybe a lot of people don't know is that my musical background in my later years is jazz and ambient stuff, but I started out with scuzzy punk and noise bands in my youth. And so I have a soft spot for these sounds, which remind me of a lot of shows I saw when I was a kid and some bands I played in. The idea for the patch is pretty much the same up to the point where things leave the looper. So you've got a threshold control, a release time, you can do clocked stuff, you can lock the loops in place. The one difference in the foot switches, this is still tap tempo for the clocked version. And again, you still have a MIDI clock in here if you want to use that and want to set the beat divisor. The big difference here is that unlike the other one where you can freeze a mix between the two, you can't do that with this patch because it's not creating a mix. What's happening instead of the volumes being attenuated is that they're being filtered. So leaving the loopers each side of the patch goes into its own low pass filter, which is opened and closed in the same way that the audio balance used for the mix control on the other patch is used. So you can set the maximum frequency here and the resonance of the filter. It can get pretty hairy if you go much above the setting that I have there. And then there's a high pass filter afterwards, because as these filters close, they don't cut off all the noise. So you need something to filter out the really low stuff. And by setting the high pass filter in different positions, you can bandpass the signal in ways that you might find pleasing. After that, it goes to a delay with mod, which is a bucket brigade style, and you've got all of the controls for that. So, this patch, like, I think it'd be maybe not the best patch for live play, although who knows? But it's a really interesting, happy accident machine. It's something where I play something, I have no idea what's going to come out, because the way the bit modulator interacts with the different loop lengths and pitches and frequencies and volumes and all of that create these little loops that are, at the very least, I think, sort of great sample fodder material. They have this real industrial edge that you could build something off of, I think. So that's Bad Dreams. And we can see as we adjust these, you get pretty different sounds. A lot of them are noisy and scuzzy and whatever, but again, I think it's like, maybe not the prettiest patch I've ever made, but certainly one of the ones that I find sort of endearingly unexpected. So I hope you do too. Thank you.